So my name's Savannah. I'm recently engaged, and I'm obviously like already planning the wedding stuff, and I'm also thinking a lot about like my bridal party, who I want there. And I have a lot of friends who I love from like different stages of my life, and they all get along well, or I think they will get along well if they haven't met yet, except for two of my friends who, they're really close. They're my really close friends. I met them during college, and during that time, we were like best friends. We lived together for a few years. But the thing is, they're kind of like socially awkward, and they don't really like going out or partying. And I honestly kind of feel like they're sort of condescending towards my other friends who do like to have a little bit more fun. But also, like, you know, we still spend time together, and they've been there for me through some like really hard times in my life.
Okay.
And I know also that they expect to be in my bridal party because of like things that they've said to me recently.
Ooh.
So my question is, should I have these girls be in my bridal party? Because like I think they would be really like organized. They would have heartfelt speeches at the actual wedding.
That's important.
But I also think they would ruin the vibe of the bridal shower and like the bachelorette trip. But then I'm like, is it like superficial to even care or to like prioritize those events?
No.
And my ability to have fun partying in Nashville over the actual wedding.
Nashville is that's a little too
also,
on the
I know
nose.
that like if they didn't get invited, they would get upset, and it would be bad for the friendship, which is important to me. So, what should I do? Thank you. Love you.
Love this question. Love this
is awesome.
question. I think we can really figure this out for her for sure.
So I've only been in one wedding outside of my sister's, and she mishmashed a lot of different energies. And there's one person she wasn't really that close to, but felt like she had to. They were kicked out after the bachelorette party and were disinvited from the wedding.
Wow.
And while we were at the wedding without this person, we did feel like, thank God this person's not here. Like, she would have been a bummer. But also, I think these girls can go on the Bachelor. Oh, they're going to ruin the vibe.
Well,
they're going to ruin the vibe is why she doesn't want them to do it. But they're going to be organized, so they're going to keep everybody on top of their stuff.
And I will say that is important.
Right.
Because these trips and these like that
but
is
you don't
an
want to
asset.
type A, but you don't want someone that's so bossy and because if they're also condescending, you don't want someone too organized.
I think you got to invite one.
You can't.
not the
You
other.
can't split them. You can't. That's insane. You can't split them up.
Friend,
You
whoever
can't
looks,
split them
whoever
up.
looks cuter and is gonna get the most likes on Facebook can be in the bridal party.
I think it's not about the bride, but I think for the trips, yes, invite your fucking friends. For the day of wedding, you're getting dressed. You want just the people that are going to make you feel at ease, be able to center you, like really be there for you. You don't want to have to be on edge on your wedding. But I think for the trips and vacations, it's like you can have a Daria and Jane in the corner. It's fine.
Yeah, you can. I will. So yes, I have the general thing I'll say is that this is your wedding.
Right.
This is your fucking whatever. And if for some reason deep in your soul, you're like, I don't want these people there, then that means you probably also, and if that might ruin the friendship, that might mean you don't want the friendship. If you actually like these people to that extent, you would want them there. Or maybe you have different ideas of how good of friends you are. And it's not worth, you never want to feel like you're doing somebody else a favor at your fucking wedding.
Right.
It's about you. It's not about fucking them. And so, like, I know people who have invited, maybe they were like work people or somebody, some like in-law type of thing, and they did fuck the vibe up. Now, having said that, if this is just that you have two friends who, they do sound like her good friends, like she said they went through a lot of stuff together, they helped her get through stuff, they were college friends, and yeah, maybe they're, like you're saying, Daria, maybe they're like a little... Maybe they're like not as fun if they're a little lame, but they're still your good friends and you do actually care about them. And I know what you're saying about the type A thing. As long as they're not like type A bitches, but they are just organized, because that's also important. I've been to fucking bachelor parties where no one's in charge and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm just
but are
saying,
they going
like,
to be condescending to everyone?
But they're probably the ones that are going to be like, I'm going to go back to the room and lay down early.
And sure, but here's the thing. Will that ruin the vibe, or is that just like, okay, great, see ya?
Yeah, later.
So you have to decide, are they just not as fun, but that's not a big deal because they'll just go sleep early?
Yeah, do they love you? Do they care about you? Do they want you to have the best time? Are they willing to put their shit on hold for you on this trip?
Are they going to stress you out on the day of the wedding, or are they going to get you together?
Yeah.
I still say split them up.
That's truly the worst possible thing you can do.
One can come to the wedding and one can come to the bachelor. One's in Nashville and one's at the, standing at the pulpit or whatever.
The pulpit.
I also, bridal shower is so weird to me.
Yeah,
that's
it is
family only. I just can't imagine being forced to do all, like, I think I have good friends. Even the wedding I was in, I was not expected to be at the bridal shower.
Yeah.
You know, it was a little more normal.
I know what you mean. Certain people have different, like, I know people who, like, Greek people kind of have it as a bigger thing. Like, it is more of a, like, whoever the fuck, like, dudes are there. Like, it's kind of like just a party where you get gifts and it's kind of not, you know, you invite everyone. But I know other people who, and I've known, like, when a Greek guy marries, like, an American girl, and she wants it like what you're saying, where it's like really tight knit, and it's like, you know, okay, but ultimately, you know what it is? It's whatever the fucking bride wants, and that's what we keep. I think we're going to keep coming back to with this question. You have to decide. Ultimately, you have to take a honest, like, inventory of their pros and cons and how they make you feel, and not
how you're going to make them feel.
Not how they're going to make everybody else feel.
And do that. And exactly. Just you. Not about what it's going to affect them. Whatever. And then decide if they're fucking, if they're worth it.
Because even for my comedy special, I had to make, I didn't want a few people there because of how they behave.
Yeah.
And it was upsetting to them, but I didn't give a fuck.
Of course.
It's my big professional moment, and I don't trust you.
Of course.
Here's my thing about it as well, is does the bridal party need to be massive? Can't you just be like, it's just my sister and my cousin? Like,
sure.
You can make it smaller so that they're not part of the wedding. But I think
it's a different thing, because I think people go to the bachelorette trip that aren't in the bridal party.
Sure.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, sure.
So that's why I keep saying, like, the trips are one thing, but the bridal party you shouldn't be for. Or, like, no.
Yeah. And if someone has an issue with only being in the trip and not being in the bridal party, that they're a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, they're a dumb bitch.
They're a bitch.
Yeah, like, and you might not, but, you know, also our caller, our friend here, sounds like a bit of an anxious person. So there could be a little bit of getting worried about something that's not an issue. Like that, you know, like worried about, like they've been condescending.
She didn't even want to get to the question. She was like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know.
I also want to know what they're saying to her to make it seem like they're so entitled to being a part of it.
Well, they're probably like, oh, it's good.
I gotta lose this weight for the wedding.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be so fun. Like, oh, I can't wait for the, you know, just shit like that where they just assume they're in. Yeah. Which that might annoy me too. Like, what are you fucking, you're not making. That's also a tactic of people that want to guilt you a little bit too.
100%.
But what you have to think about is, are they trying to guilt you, or do they really love you and are excited? Because that's, and by the way, if you just think, I will say, if their biggest sin is that they're not that fun, that's not a big deal. But if it goes beyond they're not fun and they will ruin your fun, that's the problem. If they're just kind of lame and are gonna, you know what I mean?
But also, I really believe in, like, how often do you see these people? Or is this someone that you just know from college and you see them once a year when you all go home for Thanksgiving? Then they are not entitled to all this. Like,
sure, that's a great point.
You can have really lovely relationships with people you've known for a long time, but it should be about
from afar.
These are my buds that I hang out with every day. This is who I'm calling when something good or bad happens. Like, that's who you want around you. Like, what's the word of, like, when you feel like you have to do something?
Obligation?
Yeah, like, it seems like, are you obligated just because you've known them for 20 years?
That doesn't matter. That's the thing we're trying to tell you.
It's like, who do you see all the time? It's who makes you feel good.
Yeah, and by the way, it is possible that.
But it's okay if you have a loser. Maybe these losers, because the bachelor party I went on, there was one enemy that, you know, ended up getting kicked out. But another enemy emerged for me. You don't know who will actually fail.
True.
Well, that's the thing about girls.
Some people
rise ready for these two,
and some people rise to the occasion too. They might even be like, I'm not usually like this, but let's do some lines and get fucked up. They might do that. You never know.
Yeah.
You're so focused on them, you don't know who'll disappoint.
I agree with you.
But that's the risk that you take with girls trips is, you know, you got a lot of different.
Something happened recently.
You got a lot of
Oh,
personalities.
interesting.
You got
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
good. I'd love to
personalities.
talk about this.
Usually you gonna come back. Some of y'all not gonna be friends.
All right, we got something to talk about when the mics turn off.